A Karen walks into my HOA and gets schooled. So, I live in a pretty standard suburban neighborhood governed by a homeowners association. Most of us get along just fine, but there's one resident, let's call her Karen, who has taken it upon herself to be the self-appointed enforcer of the HOA rules. And as luck would have it, I'm the HOA president. Now, I didn't ask for this role. I was volunteered during a particularly boring meeting, and I figured it was a good way to keep the peace in our community. Little did I know that I'd be dealing with a full-blown Karen who thinks she's the neighborhood police. It all started about 6 months ago when Karen began her crusade against what she deemed unsightly properties. She'd walk around the neighborhood, clipboard in hand, jotting down notes and practically salivating over any minor infraction she could find. A slightly unkempt lawn? Check. A child's toy left in the yard? Double check. A fence that wasn't painted the exact shade of beige? You better believe she was on it. At first, I tried to brush it off. I thought, hey, as long as she's not bothering me, I'm good. But then, one fateful Saturday morning, I was outside trimming my bushes when I saw her approaching, clipboard in hand and a look of determination on her face. "Good morning," I said, trying to be friendly. She replied, "Good morning," her eyes narrowing as she scanned my yard. Fast forward a few weeks, and Karen had turned her attention to my neighbor, Mr. Thompson, who had a small garden gnome collection. She knocked on his door and informed him that the gnomes were distracting and not in line with the HOA aesthetic. Mr. Thompson was a retired veteran and not the type to back down easily. He called me, and together we decided it was time to put an end to Karen's reign of terror. We organized a neighborhood meeting. I sent out a flyer, inviting everyone to come and discuss HOA rules and regulations. The night of the meeting, I was nervous but excited. I knew Karen would show up, clipboard in hand, ready to take notes, but I had a plan. As the meeting started, I laid out the agenda and asked everyone to share their thoughts on the HOA rules. To my surprise, many of the residents expressed their frustrations with Karen's behavior. They shared stories of how she had approached them about trivial matters. One woman even told us how Karen had told her that her welcome mat was too colorful for the neighborhood. Finally, I turned to Karen. "Karen, you've been very vocal about enforcing the rules. How do you feel about the feedback from your neighbors?" She looked flustered, and for a moment, I thought she might actually listen. But instead, she puffed up like a peacock and said, "I'm just trying to keep our neighborhood looking nice." That's when I decided to drop the bomb. Well, as president, I have the authority to amend rules, so I'm proposing a new rule. Any resident who feels harassed by another resident regarding HOA rules can file a complaint, and if the complaint is validated, the offending party will be fined. The room erupted in applause. Karen's face turned beet red. "You can't do that!" she shouted, but it was too late. The homeowners had rallied behind me, and I had the backing of the majority. Over the next few weeks, the complaints rolled in. Karen was suddenly on the receiving end of her own medicine. She'd knock on doors, and instead of fear, people would just laugh and say, "Good luck with that." Eventually, she stopped her crusade, and I'll never forget the day I saw her outside looking defeated as she packed up her clipboard and walked away. The neighborhood was finally free of her reign of terror, and I learned that sometimes, standing up to a Karen can lead to unexpected victories. So, here's to all the HOA presidents out there. Don't be afraid to take a stand. You never know when a little embarrassment can turn the tables on a self-proclaimed enforcer.